Thank you so much.
How was your panel?
Fantastic.
What some of the points you discussed?
So it was about the blending of traditional and new age media,
Yeah.
and how is it evolving. Marketing is one replacing the other. Both are supplementing each other. That was largely the space. Very interesting.
Good to know. Good to know. This is the year that is said to be a very, a very downturn, a year of global slowdown. But in terms of what's happening right now, India remains a very bright spot. How are you looking at the marketing spends right now from an overall industry perspective? Do you somehow feel that CMOs are holding back and kind of being very cautious about it? What is your take?
The primary spends within marketing would be traditional media and digital media, and data is indicating that none of them have been rationalized. So brands fortunately continue to invest behind businesses. Even at Hershey, we continue to very actively invest behind building brands, and it is a long-term process. So that is something which we've not optimized. However, obviously, with multiple options, multiple platforms, one is always more judicious in terms of what's the right mix, how do you make every buck count. So I think that's the space, but not really cutting down on investments.
We were talking on the lines of how are you looking at the ratio of going into legacy media? Do you somehow feel TV and traditional media kind of losing their share?
So in fact, that was what the panel was about. And again, data indicates that traditional media continues to hold strong. So there is expanding reach, GRPs are getting delivered. Equally, digital marketing is growing at a very rapid pace. In fact, it is said that it's going to triple spends in the next 3 years. So I feel that both are holding strong, both are working hand in hand. And for marketers, what it does is clearly provides a lot of opportunity to reach out to consumers in various ways and engage with them. So from that perspective, personally, I don't think traditional media is going to lose to digital media. Eventually, both are going to work hand in hand, and depending on what the objective is and the brand task is, one tends to over-index on traditional versus digital, or vice versa.
And also technology and data kind of helping people to kind of streamline and make it more accumulative how and where the money will go. As a marketer, what are some of the trends, short terms as well as long terms, you are witnessing right now, or you would expect going forward in the year ahead? Majorly with the advent of generative AI, how do you look at it?
So in terms of trends, I think, and I just talk about what marketers need to definitely do, they need to be resilient, they need to be agile.
Absolutely.
So I think there will be, periods of up and down, but eventually it's all going to be on track. India continues to be a very, very strong growth story. So from that perspective, I think resilience is important, agility is important. So initially, let's take media planning for example. Right? Initially, media planning used to be you plan for something and then post facto you make changes. But now it's evolved to saying how do you make real-time changes, how do you optimize your spends, how do you reinvest, redeploy with an intent of maximizing output. So from that lens, I think that is one. Those are a couple of trends. From a consumer lens, there is social media is gaining traction beyond its role which it has played so far. Content marketing has become extremely important, and I think the concept of integrated experiential planning, which is various touch points to land or connect with consumers, be it traditional media, be it digital, be it immersive, be it experiential, in store, at the moment of sale. I think all coming together and providing you that opportunity is something which people should be very cognizant of. Lastly, I think one should never underestimate the power of consumer centricity. So ensuring that whatever you do is connected to what the consumer desires. So constantly going and connecting with consumers, checking with them. At the same time, the power of content. So content is not defined by the platform. Content defines the platform. So yeah.
Very well put, very well put. I liked it. Marketing kind of derive the let's say the purpose, and with a lot of emphasis on sustainability, how do you ensure as a CMO that you being purpose driven, you being kind of contributing to the larger goals of India, the larger sentiment to the India? How do you stay authentic? How do you ensure that?
I think brands need to be you need to be true to your brand proposition.
True.
And that has to be consistent. You have to be very authentic. The tone, the messaging has to be consistent, irrespective of the platform. That's the most important thing. If you're trying to be somebody different, then I think consumers are going to look through that. For example, for Hershey's, the name Hershey's has an invisible or hidden her and she in it, and that's what we try to do in terms of finding our opportunity to celebrate the her and she around us through our Hershey campaign during the International Women's Day and throughout the year. So I think that's what one needs to do: staying true, staying authentic, and the purpose has to emanate from the brand ethos versus trying to look for something which is distantly related.
Before we actually close, any advice for the younger marketers coming up, the potential people who are now will be the leaders of tomorrow? Anything for that?
Quite a few things. I think it'll take a lot of time, but being authentic, being true to the brand proposition, consistency in voice, consumer centricity, power of content, not getting swayed, being resilient, being agile, thinking business, because marketing has evolved from being just an enabler to somebody who drives business. So I think all these things is what one should be oriented to when one aims to enter marketing and grow thereafter.
Thank you so much, Ankit. It was really insightful and really candid of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.